Back home now, and new MPs have delivered their first speeches to the 48th Parliament of Australia ahead of the first question time that takes place later on today. Live to Canberra now, Julia Bradley, good morning to you. So what were the highlights and what can we expect today?
Well, Pete, there were some very emotional speeches to Parliament last night, and chief among them was, of course, Ali France. She's the woman who unseated Peter Dutton in his Queensland seat of Dickson at the federal election. And she used that maiden speech last night to speak about how her son, who passed away from leukemia, really did encourage her to get into this career of politics. She's fought for a long time, 7 years to get here, and finally she's done it. She also spoke about the adversity she's faced in terms of that car accident which left her with a loss of a leg. And she has said she's here in Parliament and she wants to make change.
He told me many times that this election was my time. He was convinced I would win and said a number of times, "Don't make me the excuse for you not doing important things." And this was so important.
Another speech to note, Pete, Sarah Witty. She unseated the Greens leader Adam Bandt in his seat of Melbourne, and she used her speech to speak about her difficulties getting pregnant and her decision to enter the foster care system.
I remember one day after a devastating loss, my mum gently said to me, "Maybe you were meant to be a mum for all children." I stepped into the world of foster care, not out of ease, but out of a deep seed to turn my pain into something positive.
Pete, now that a lot of those formalities have been wrapped up, we see it back to business today in Canberra. The first question time will kick off, and we know the coalition will have a difficult time externally on account of Labor's major majority in the lower house, but also difficulties internally. Today there's this report in the Australian newspaper with two former Nationals leaders, Barnaby Joyce and Michael McCormack, teaming up to say they want to fight to repeal that net zero by 2050 target. They've spoken with the Australian, and they also say they've been unhappy with David Littleproud's leadership, the current Nationals leader, in particular that decision to split the Nats away from the Liberals after the election at a time when the coalition leader, Susan Lee, was of course dealing with the death of her mother. They say that was the wrong move. But also Michael McCormack suggesting he's not ruling out a further tilt at leadership. So watch this space.
Sure, yeah. David Littleproud and Susan Lee, for that matter, coming up later on in the program.